Welcome back. We're on the hunt for some more buried treasure, and what could possibly go wrong in a world of students, murder mysteries, and thieves. But still, with the greatest detective on the case, I'm sure everything will go smoothly. What could possibly go wrong, unless an influx of more maids with questionable attitudes? If nothing else, this is a fun little build up to an adventure, I'm guessing. There's plenty of treasures buried out there somewhere, so is our resident ghost going to be any help? Probably not any, at least. There'd be no fun in that. So let's watch the episode. How many of the various treasures and whatnot have been found? That's a nice teapot, actually blooming alongside the water going in. And all of that gold... Oh, fuck, what's that called? Kintsugi or something. It's like repairing the pots themselves with lacquer and some gold. Bring extra life to the relics and things that they've been using. I think for a relic like that, I think it's definitely worth it. Having a teapot that can brew tea without much effort. That's invaluable. So this the point of the adventurer club, is it not? To go out and find all of these treasures. Also, with the tea that it brews, is it always the same one? Can you decide on the flavour, the different leaves that it's using? Leprechaun. So, despite the... That's a very squeaky chair, by the way. Despite the extensive building work that is all over the island, how much is actually left untouched? How far down did she bury things? And also, yeah, why is she so obsessed with pudding? Is it the only thing you can taste when you're a ghost? But so far, yeah, we've seen this teapot laden with gold inlay for various breaks. It's been through the ringer, this one. But also the lie detecting stone. What other bits and pieces are out there? Is there a limit to these relics of the past? But still, to create a teapot that brews limitless tea from just plain water, some true connoisseurs of the past, these craftsmen of old. Is she trying her hardest for him to go out to the shops? It's like, be as pestering as... Oh no, just feed her. That's very... Huh? It's not the right brand? So... It's not just any pudding would do. No, she is... Did she just really want to try that out? Jesus, an abusive relationship. Yeah, that's a fine little test, isn't it? What, no one's looked up there? Is it off limits? Would that have been built before the rest of it all? We saw that, this school was done 6 years ago, so... Well, where's the fun in just telling you where the ruins are located? Yeah, if she enjoyed the adventure out there to actually track them all down... Neither helping or hindering, really. Only those that are willing to put themselves through the effort. So there's a lot of talk about this conjure and what they went through as well. Are we going to see glimpses of that throughout the show? Also, with this being so touristy, are they going to find this glass box that was mentioned? And it doesn't mean that there'll be a place or a time where he would have to leave a notebook out for the next... That was quick. Both passcodes and key cards. Or maybe because it hasn't been assigned to anyone yet. Coffee shop. Okay. So, hidden in plain sight, little architecture trickery with perspective and mirrors. Did she manage to just see that as she was walking past her? How that looks a little odd. But to pay attention to it that way, see what rooms have no entrances and why. Do you just... or put in the postcode? When in doubt, put in birthdays. So, she's rather simple to predict. Well, the one who found the area, I'm guessing, should be part of the group. Yeah, I was about to say, is it a lot more life-threatening? If what we saw right at the beginning with the Indiana Jones room closing. So, will they have a spread, some snacks and tea prepared for them when they leave the room? Since the maids are just sitting outside. Let's hope there's no... Oh, that's neat. Let's hope there's no blow darts or spears that are going to come shooting at them as soon as they open the doors. There's a lot more mechanical jiggery than I thought. I would say the room itself and the traps and the way that it tries to keep its treasure safe is more of an enigma and more interesting to me than the relics themselves. Because if you could harness that, some web-weaving corridors, that would be a massive step for building as we know it. And they're being separated. Great. So now we know that there are limits to how long they can stay in each section before it becomes so fragile as to snap away. Why was that just now? Why was it torn away and then rebuilt? Is it on a timer? Is it how long they've stood in a certain area? Well, you might want to pull her up before it starts getting rebuilt on you. She gets... and she gets torn in half by the corridor itself. Cool, we can talk about that after you get out of here, though. Yeah, be sure to repay the favour. I'm sure it'll be coming relatively soon. Just run. Get that athletic skill up. So it's to not repeat any corridors that you've been down before. And if you... the fact that the pathways itself is... So can you kind of very softly walk across the gooey pathways? If we know that they're safe, just, yeah, run through all of them until... Almost took the wrong one. So you're left. Cool. Now that we have laid out the... boing, boing. Laid out the pathway for him. Let's hope his stamina can hold out. He seems to be worn out after the first few 100 meters rather than all the running that Jugo was doing before. It does look like a straight run for it, though, so why did we have Jugo going across everything? If he could just leg it and the things are falling behind him, yeah, what stopped him just running for the treasure chest in the first place? It is... staff. Huh. I expected it to be slightly more arachnid. He's evil. Who could have seen that coming? Yes, you got to test out the relics when you find them, but he was finding that one in particular? I mean, didn't Nanana just give him one at random? It might be difficult getting out of here now, unless you can talk to the spider god itself, get him to make some new pathways for them. Is it a cursed item? This thing seems a little too powerful. Suggestive orders like freeze or sleep while also allowing teleportation? And this is why you should never join a school club. This is truly the best way of doing things. This is just one more test. Not sure why I particularly need to force them through it, but still. To think that all of this was going on in the middle of the shopping district. Can you just get police to come and... What do you want to do? For him to give you a bit of space? This is something the great detective can't figure out herself. Nothing like a bit of tension and fear to really spice things up. He did reach out a hand and save her earlier on. If that's all it takes. Well, his life has been flipped upside down recently. There's a lot of odd occurrences. Kind of like his new living arrangement. I have hypertension. Does that count? Just a way to be remembered? Not to solve any massive crimes or anything, not to make the world a better place, not to be remembered. To be fair. But to be fair, that's the outcome I would prescribe to, so good for her. Despite everyone else's ridicule. Little help. Seems at least the police arrived in a timely manner. And to be fair, with the guy saying, yeah, they're smarter than he is, they'll find a way out. That way of finding a way out is just call for assistance. No grand schemes or plans, just, hello, please, help, please. And what plan did they actually come to other than just chuck some rope at them? tie it around them, pull them to safety, hope for the best. Okay. I don't think that's how an interview is meant to start. Still, if there's anyone else you want protecting you other than some cat burglars. Yay. A lot of things happened today. He went through the ringer more after the trial than when he was part of it. Okay. So these treasures are from all around the world and all of the different portions of history. Why is it all... Well, maybe she brought them here. All located in this area. I mean, she likes Tekken, doesn't she? To bring about anything the bearer wishes for. That seems a little step above all of the other things we've seen so far. Lie detector, infinite tea, reality warping in a sense. Unless she's just loose with her description of it. Head of the Great Seven. But do people come here for the sights, the atmosphere, the potential for good education, or just the allure of all of these treasures and relics that are left around, and the infinite possibilities therein? If one of them can be sold for an extraordinary amount of money, I could understand selling them off, but the teapot itself, depending on how much I'd get for it, actually, but it seems like some precious artifact that I'd rather keep my own, not having to pay for not only tea bags, but the energy to heat up the water. Unless I saw that wrong. But I do like the idea of these treasures can do stupid things, but they just happen to be out there in history, and so far the world's been relatively okay. Are they here for justice? Things are progressing rather fast. Not just in the case of getting a little hot and bothered while suspended into the air, but also coming across a relic, being betrayed, and then the various forces all converging, the ones who stole the artifact in the first place and misplaced it, now being the ones to rescue them. But what now? Are they out looking for retaliation? Did they have to be betrayed in such a manner where it could possibly lead to their untimely demise? I mean, even if it did make them stronger, there's probably better ways to go about it. But considering the wizard's cane itself can conjure up the wishes of the user, if he wanted them silent and out of the picture, he could have easily done it. So, yeah, not going to jump straight into evil mastermind. Or if he is, he's just doesn't really follow through with plans very well. Everyone likes to keep them all on their toes. It would be boring if you were just given the answers. With the various elements of this, with Nanana being killed many years ago, the island being built up around her, how many relics and treasures were accidentally found? I mean, if they couldn't get the passcode to go through the door, activate the room, is there a way of someone on the outside accidentally breaking through and ruining the puzzle? If so, has it been done before, and what kind of treasures have been lost because of it? You know, bulldozing the relics of the past for progress. I would like to see more of what we saw in the very first episode. I'm guessing early on, before she was, the more actual ruin hunting, the treasures buried deep below, rather than the mechanical spider. Where did the mechanical spider come from? After the treasure was opened, did it just disappear, or was it stop working up there? Can we backwards engineer? I wouldn't mind a giant mechanical arachnid. Especially if it could help make shelves. If those fast-hardening threads stayed up for quite a while, yeah, I can think of some interior decorating that can be done. I also do hope that this maid trap actually becomes useful in some manner, rather than just standing in the background and following the detective, because they haven't done anything yet. And I don't want a character just to be there for a cheap laugh, comedy relief, and not much else. Sure, I might be being a little harsher, because it is episode 3. So, time to grow for all of them. And with more characters actually left to be shown. Has there been a show out there which has put characters in an opening and not ever shown them? Like, they're not actually part of it, it's just a red herring from the start. I wonder. But I don't believe that's the case here. So, whether they're at school, at home with the ghosts, or being followed around by cat burglars, yeah, there's plenty going on for them. And I wonder, trauma bonding, how's that going to last? Has he made a great new friend, then possibly more? Or is it going to be returned to normal next episode because, the fright of dying has worn off and therefore all affection has gone with it? We'll have to see. This world is interesting, the way it's building everything up, and so far, with the relics, anything seems possible. I'm guessing Nanana being a ghost is through the fault of a relic or two, so we'll have to see. If you've enjoyed this one, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. If you want to impress me more, consider subscribing to the channel. But if you don't want to be left hanging, well, don't go through passcoded doors that you're not supposed to be entering. But also, make sure to get some rest, because maybe you'll find the way out in the next one. I hope to see you there. If you want to be forever linked in some trauma bonding with my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon, because thanks to the likes of Noku, Sao, Guado, Kite, Ruben Filamawa, Raywin, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else, I don't have to be metaphorically dangling over a massive pit, or out hunting for treasures. Instead, we can leave that to everyone else, which leaves us able to sit down, enjoy some pudding, and watch some anime.